Ladies and gentlemen, it's 6:05 on a Monday. You know what that means? Jeff, Mr. Thomas here live from Tampa, Florida. It's the MLW Files, the number one rated MLW show in the history of history and the history of the internet, which is forever. Jeff, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Your beard's longer than mine. That's the only time you'll be able to say that. A little freshening up for the young buck.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. You think that you were in disguise in Iowa by not having a beard?
I do this thing. Listen, between you and I don't, and a little HIPAA going on here. Been under the weather the past couple of weeks. I kayfabe it because I'm an adult and I don't let it show on the screen. But I'm on a ton of antibiotics for a very bad stomach. I'm finally getting my life under control. But one of the negative downfalls of my treatment, if that's what you want to call it, is I'm kind of stuck in the house. I have nothing to do. I feel like shit all day. Unfortunately, I went on vacation last week while also on antibiotics, which is not good, into a state fair, which is really not good when you're having stomach issues. But I'm a trooper, and I wanted to give a little fresher upper because I was going out of town. And, when you're around all those Iowa caucuses, those white people out there that are looking to delegate votes for their whatever, you got to blend in instead of sticking out. And I felt like this was the better look for me, Jeff. What do you think?
I see. I think
that's a little dry skin under here because I got a fat tongue because the brother's all jacked up and I sleep like this. So my tongue's a little fat, so it makes my neck look a little fat, if you know what I mean, brother. So when you trim it up, and then I sit a little bit, and then when I'm on the phone, I feel like I sweat. So I feel like I had a little slight irritation. So I needed a little trimmy trim and a scrubby scrub and a, what do they call that? A maximum extraction facial.
Yes.
Hydrofacial is what they're called. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I don't need to guess how you fit in Iowa. Why don't you tell us, how did you fit in Iowa? How was your trip?
Right in, man. I got a shirt. Des Moines. Shout out to Des Moines, Iowa. A great place. I had a 3-hour flight from the St. Pete Clearwater Airport direct on Allegiant, which for those of you who don't know what Allegiant is, you have to walk up the steps on the tarmac to get into the plane, and they load it from the back. There's no Wi-Fi. The flight attendant's about 77 years old. Mm-hmm. She don't know how she got here either. You're on your own type thing. So you buckle up or don't at your own recognizance. And if you make it where you make it, you get there, but no issues. There's only one flight a day. So if it doesn't leave, you're kind of beat. But yeah, shout out to Iowa. Des Moines is where I stayed. I drove 3 hours to Dryersville for the Field of Dreams MLB baseball game. Mm-hmm. Phillies came out on top. A great trip. And I went to the Iowa State Fair.
Did awesome. You say at some point, are we in heaven? And then someone else said, no. This is
God. So I never saw the movie. I know production's going to kill me. I'm not a cinephobe. But I've seen highlights of it. I get it. So one of the things I love, atmosphere of a good baseball game, I'm all in on. Obviously, if you saw this on TV, especially shout out to Netflix for putting on a great production, because the way it looks on TV and the way it kind of looks when you're there, two different things. But the production value, very high. And somebody hitting a home run in the middle of a cornfield is awesome. So check it out.
Okay. Sounds good. So later this week, you and I are actually doing 2 podcasts this week together, which is,
which is news to me.
No, it's not. It was your idea, which was news to me. It was The Prestige on Thursday. That's the.
Is it really this Thursday? Did I agree to
it? You arranged the whole thing, and because of you, I had to see not just the Odyssey, but also Oppenheimer, because I haven't seen either of those, and everyone's like making their top 5 Nolan movies, and I'm happy to say that neither the Odyssey or Oppenheimer would make it into my top 5. So, but the Prestige above both of those. Which I was not expecting. I was expecting the Odyssey to be all about me, but it was absolutely not about me. And Oppenheimer, everyone said you have to see it. It's magnificent. That's exactly what I thought it was. It was a well done biopic or docudrama.
That seems to be a theme these days. I feel like Odyssey and Oppenheimer kind of fall in the same category of just a retelling of historical events, or am I?
The Odyssey is definitely not a historical event.
Well, not historical, but a story that has been passed down.
Oh, for sure.
I know that one. I understand that one. And then I guess the Oppenheimer is based on actual events or based on a true story?
I guess it's based. I mean, it's based on a true story. How much of that is true? I mean, I didn't know about the McCarthyism and the smear on Oppenheimer, if there was one, and whatnot, any of that stuff. But I don't know. I didn't find it all that interesting either. So,
not my cup of tea. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
We have some news on the docket before we dive into this one. A good wrestling show. I know a lot of people are here to talk about the actual pro wrestling of this pro wrestling show, which we will get to. But a solid 50 minutes of television. I did not enjoy the first segment. We've had a very good wrestling match, followed by a very good main event and a big title change, and a lot of pieces getting pieced together. But we'll get to that. I feel like there's some maybe roster news that we should touch base on. We're not really a news organization. We're more of a wrestling review show. But Jeff, if you could explain this first one, maybe read the headline the way you would present it to somebody, and we can commentate on this as need be.
Sure. What is the first one you want me to commentate on?
The lady, Tessa Blanchard, I guess. Possibly linked to MLW, talking with MLW. I saw it on the internet, so I hope I'm not. Whoa, that's the best picture of that dude I've ever seen. But yeah,
that's the best that dude's ever looked. No,
listen, I'd let her call me the N-word while we did stuff. It wouldn't be the first time, but if that's how she gets off, I'm down, and you can clip that and you can tag. But in reality,
it will be.
This racist piece of shit. What's the deal here? In talks with MLW. Rumors that possibly she may debut for MLW, or maybe her last resort in wrestling might only be MLW. How do you want to phrase this, Jeff?
Well, I mean, I'm going to even go less than that. I mean, she works primarily for CMLL. MLW works with CMLL. It shouldn't be a very hard thing to do. It's just arranging her booking fee and whatever their referral fee is for that, which I guess is pretty standard. And how often they'll let her be there. She's willing to be there. I mean, I
just don't see where she fits in, to be honest. In this current role with the women's division, I think we have 3, maybe 4 full-time ladies. If you include the addition of Lady Frost, who debuted last week, obviously she's going to be there a little bit more going forward. We have a couple Joshi girls coming in on this next loop. We have the lovely TikTok girl coming in as well. So we already have some new talent on the horizon. I know we kind of make fun of it and say that it's usually a 2x2 round robin of the 4 ladies, but they're adding a couple more. I just don't know if there's room for her. I don't know what the demand is. I don't hear anyone clamoring to see her wrestle or do whatever she did when she caught her fame previously. So I'm just a little lost on this one. When's the last time she's worked? Who is she working currently in CM? It's just there's no buzz around this. I don't see how this would help business or sell tickets. But given MLW in their past of second chances, we have Austin Aries, who's currently the open weight champion. We had Enzo Amore there for a few months for some reason. It seems, for all aspects, it seems like MLW can be a place where you go and kind of look for forgiveness while still making money. I just don't know where she fits in. And personally, I wouldn't want to share a locker room with her. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I don't know where she fits in either. And I agree with you. I think that with Korean Joy and Hate and the Lady Frost and Zamaya being the only woman that was really featured this week.
And Zamaya also being the powerhouse of the division on her way to the top for sure. I just don't see where we have room for 2 powerhouse women. If that's still the style that she wrestles, I'm not sure exactly what her physique looks like. She looks great in this, wedding photo or whatever the fuck this is. Funeral.
Well, she looks great. Tessa Blanchard is in terrific shape, but she's not like statuesque. She's not Charlotte Flair or Jade Cargill or even Rhea Ripley. I mean, she's probably 5'5", and she's in terrific shape. But I mean, I don't like women who can wrestle. That's not unusual anymore. I mean, it was a little bit unusual 12 years ago when they were like the 4 horsewomen.
I don't know if we can I don't know if we have access to our the Jedi Sports Network Twitter polls here, but if we could put a poll up somewhere, maybe not this week, but in the future, I'd love to see a real legitimate poll of, do you want to see Tessa anywhere? Would you buy a ticket? I'm just more curious of how do I phrase this? Is it worth the hassle? Are you going to sell tickets? Are you going to make money? Are you going to turn people away? Are you going to give us the wrong type of publicity? Like, that's all it really comes down to. I know no press is bad press, but let's not.
Yeah, I don't know that MLW wants to lean all the way into the control your narrative lane. I mean, you have Cross, you have Big Damo, you have Austin Aries. That's sort of enough of the control your narrative, narrative. I don't really see where she's needed. I don't think she elevates anything. I think Shotzi is a great character to brand around, and I think that they found a gem in Zemaya, a potential gem. I think Lady Frost is
the lady heel of the future until it's time to turn her the other way.
Yeah, and then you have Scarlett as a perfectly fine plan B. You can brand around her safely and comfortably and sexily. Well, I think Tessa is a really good wrestler. I don't think that's unusual. And then it's not just the thing with La Rosa Negra from way back when, which apparently that beef has been squashed. Okay, fine. I'm not sure if it's a really squashed or if it's just a locker room PR kind of thing. But the amount of women that came out just saying they don't like her, it's unbelievable. I mean, mostly in wrestling, people are pretty supportive of each other, like sometimes to a degree that makes no sense because they are competing with each other. Not her. Not her. You get like people like Chelsea Green, who's pretty much universally loved. She makes barf emojis whenever Tessa's name is mentioned, and she's not the only one.
Now the opposite end of the spectrum, transition, the former Aleister Black, the former Tommy End. I feel like there was some recent chatters across my page. I think I sent that to you this morning. It was one of the first things I see, that there was previous talks with him and MLW on a possible, maybe like a handshake agreement or a preliminary deal of some sorts that hasn't quite come into fruition yet. Again, I'm not sure why these news stories, pal, are circulating throughout the internet this week. But again, I feel like we should touch base on it. And where does Tommy N fit in MLW? And I apologize for what did he go? Mekhi Black? Is that how he went in AEW?
It was Malachi Black in AEW, who was Aleister Black in WWE. He's Tommy End, I guess is his real name, or was his indie name anyway. I don't know where I mean, I'd be very interested to see Matt Riddle and Malachi Black have
But is he just Cross 2.0? We have Killer Cross at home.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They're
long-haired white guy, tattoos, freshly released off television, kind of squandered in the mid-card. We have that. It's our world champion.
Right, sort of spooky. So, I mean, I guess if Cross's contract is only a year, or he wants too much, is Tommy End the replacement? I'm not really sure.
I don't see a world where you have two top independent former television talents that are so similar in character and in look that there's a need for them on one show. This guy looks like $1 million. He might have just cut his hair if he's not still rocking the long hair. But you put him and Cross side by side, to my mother in the third row one day, and she doesn't know the difference between these two people. I'm not saying that's the case throughout the world and the internet, but we have a world champion of Killer Cross that we already invested 9 months into. I don't think we need to do this again. But if there's something comes up, and then where does he fit with, Riddle and everybody else? It kind of, there's a, I know we lost one former WWE guy this week on television. We'll go back to that. But like, how many former WWE long hair white men do you need with tattoos at one time in your locker room?
I don't know. He also, he's kind of a quiet guy, so it's not like he really.
But I guess the one factor that he has that a lot of other people doesn't have, what Cross also has, the similarities are uncanny. Is he comes with a smoke show +1 of a husband-wife discount.
Is it a discount, or are you paying for two people?
Brother, trust me when I say, if you're paying for my girl to fly first class to the same show that I'm on and she's booked, you're getting a discount. Trust me.
Okay. All righty. That's fine. So you got a Zelina and a Selena, maybe. I don't know. I don't know where he fits in.
Production, if you could look up, she did announce what her new name was going to be. She came out with something that's not quite Zamina.
It was
Xena.
Yeah,
you can't make this shit up, man. I'm writing a rap song, and whatever that name is now the new title.
Yeah, she just took out the ZE and turned it to a XI. I think is all she's done. So she actually filed for a trademark. I have a feeling she's going to have problems with it based on the Zelina Vega trademark that already exists and probably has not expired.
She'll be
in any.
Is there anything else we need to go over before we hop into the show?
We can talk about Carmelo Hayes, who had less success in betting than you did. You bet on a home run and made your money back on your trip. Carmelo Hayes said that Baron Corbin Bishop Dyer is going to lose 2 titles on one weekend, but he only went 1-on-1. So
he tweeted that.
Yeah. So him lost on himself.
Man, I was out of the loop this weekend. I wish I would have been more. Oh, that's great. That's great.
It was pretty funny.
It's funny that they acknowledge it. Yes. And my question is, before we get into this awesome wrestling show, probably the best wrestling match we had on MLW Fusion, possibly the best episode of MLW Fusion we've had since we started this. I don't know how many weeks in we are right now. It seems like 100. But this is the easiest show to watch. This is the most I've put the word good, great, and fun on more than one show, more than one match, more than one segment. We tied up a lot of stuff. We opened up some new doors. We're moving on, and it seems like there's an end to some storylines that I'm looking to finish very soon on the horizon. Let's dive into this.
All right. Well, the show opens up in Chattanooga. It seems like it's going to be Grudge night, but instead of getting straight into a Grudge, we get into a battle royal that's for apparently nothing. That was not.
When was this filmed? Can we find out? It seems like so long ago, and I hate to pull back the curtain 1 minute into the show, but it seems like this Chattanooga show was in like the month of February.
Wow, it could be. I mean,
now I say this by if February, maybe. Yeah, February, March. I feel like it happened immediately after Battle Riot, and they haven't gone back to Chattanooga yet. I know the notes in the internet are going to correct me. I don't have the list of shows in front of me because my full attention is on you, Jeff. I feel like that's the case. And with that being said, if this title was switched 6 months ago, which it kind of seems like it was, and we kept it quiet till now, I love it. But I'd like to know when the show was recorded. This is the only time I'll ever pull back the kayfabe on this. But we jumped right into a battle royal.
Right.
The only thing I hate more than a battle royal is when everyone gets an entrance in the battle royal, because this somehow turned into a 15-minute segment, 14 or 13, I think it ended up being, only because we got one generic theme song and kind of everyone got an entrance here. It took me to about
all 10 of their entrances took less time than Roman Reigns' entrance would take.
I got down to about SoFly Manny Brown before I went up and changed the title to this match from Battle Royal to Jobber Battle Royal. Yes. First and foremost, music hits. We got Andrew Everett out first, the Giant.
Not introduced as Andrew the Giant Everett, yet commentary is still acting like he is, and he's still doing the moveset. So what do we think here?
This is another clue that makes me feel like this show was recorded very prior to the last 5 episodes.
It's entirely possible. And we've seen this other guy once before on MLW, at least. SoFly Manny Low. I remember because you could not get his name straight.
Still can't.
And probably no reason to. Then they had someone named Flip Sequoia, who during the match, they called him Terry Sequoia. And I guess Flip's other name is
his middle name. He actually, Joe Nebraska mentioned that on commentary doors his entrance. It's Terry Flip. And I don't have his last name written down because I still can't pronounce it. What's his last name?
It's Sequoia, like the tree, but not spelled
Sequoia.
Like the tree.
Like the truck.
Or the truck, but it's not spelt the same way.
Terry Flip Sequoia with a Q.
And then we got a Nepo baby, CJ Gallows. Yes,
My
Doc
notes
Gallows.
Exactly. Nepo fuck.
It must be really tough when your dad is a giant, because even if you're like 6'4", like this kid looks like he's probably 6'4",
He'll be 6'4".
he's still so much smaller than his dad, and he's got like a little boy haircut. Like, it's perfectly fine if he's like a freshman in college, but like in wrestling, it's like it's just a side part.
All right, let me see here. I'm looking at my notes real quick, and it looks like this show was actually filmed back in May.
Okay.
Which, again, kind of out of context here, but I'm not sure where we're at.
I'm not either.
Yeah, no, we're in context here. Again, shout out to MLW for knowing exactly where they were going to be in this Baron Corbin storyline every step of the way.
Well, I'll tell you who's every step of the way. LeBron Kozone doing double duty this episode. He's in the Battle Royal, and he's facing Joe Coffey tonight in a grudge match. And then, of course, the odds-on favorite to win, Azteca 44. So that do not
the skinniest one, brother. The littlest one
on Azteca 44. Don't sleep on him. I mean, it's good to see an Azteca. I've been wondering where all of the Aztecas were. I don't know why 1 through 43 weren't there to back them up. I don't know why 45 through 170 weren't there. But yeah, he's gone. Diego Hill,
your boy,
my boy. But I'm starting to lose faith in that he's anyone else's boy. I'm a little bit worried about Diego.
Kwan's out next, friend of the show.
Yeah, then my boy Akira Kwan with his partner Okamura, and then we're supposed to pretend that Kananga, the Caribbean butcher, doesn't look exactly like Jumbo if he didn't, if he messed up his hair and put on a mask. So Jumbo, the introduction of Jumbo, the betrayer to Contra, and now his hair is nice and neat. Like, like you shaved your beard. He's all nice and neat and has a different outfit on. Totally different guy. And so yeah, Jumbo. And then Mark Coffey, Wolfgang, and then we get a little bit of a swerve in that Jesus Rodriguez, but he's just there to introduce Don Gatto.
Don Gatto, yeah, he sponsors this shit. He's gonna get his hands dirty.
Right, he's the final entrant into the Battle Royal. So that is our Battle Royal. The stakes of this Battle Royal are none. The winner gets nothing.
Round of applause.
But I'm a sucker for Battle Royal.
Same. It was fine. It was good. Started off quick. I guess maybe the highlight, Flip. Was that who was on Old Boy's shoulders?
Fly was, he flied out first, and then Sequoia Terry, he was out second, both by Jumbo. Jumbo did the first 2 eliminations. So this
somehow Flip Sequoia ended up on the shoulders of Jumbo, and took a crazy dive to eliminate himself to the floor. I'm not sure what he was thinking or how that happened, but it worked out. It was impressive. It looked super dangerous. I'm glad it worked out for everybody, though. A good highlight to start the match.
Yeah, I mean, this was clearly going to be a showcase for Jumbo and to see how powerful he was. Our boy Quan, he eliminated Andrew the Giant Everett. So, wow, Quan still kicking
himself, super heavyweight, crazy.
It is amazing. And actually, Tom Lawler said something about that it's amazing that he could take care of someone of that size.
That would take 2 guys in a normal battle royal.
In a normal battle royal, but this was no normal battle royal. We get Jumbo betraying both of his former Contra mates. Apparently, they didn't recognize him too, or they did, and they thought there was a wink.
There's not same character.
Okay, you keep saying
just like the Sendai Death Squad number 2 or number 1 was not Mr. Thomas 2 episodes later. Not true.
Next, you're going to tell me Mr. Thomas was an Azteca at some point.
Mr. Thomas also didn't beat the shit out of Court Bauer in New York as a Contra member one time, but someone had to do
it. Wow. Okay, we're starting to get into the heat, the deep heat. All right. So Jumbo betrayed both Contra mates and got rid of them. Don Gatto eliminated himself with his own clothesline, where he got rid of Azteca 44 and his own momentum down there. But apparently he's only trying to get rid of Azteca 44 because there's a personal grudge between Don Gatto and, I guess, the murdered Cesar Duran and what's left.
Yeah, rival promoters, not happy about business. Okay. I was actually, my note here is, once I saw Don Gatto, I thought for sure you don't eliminate the sponsor. you don't bury the sponsor. You know what I mean? Like the Slim Jim guy isn't going through the table. You know, so I very shocked to see Azteca 44 eliminated by Don Gatto as equally as I was Don Gatto eliminated himself.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that he would have had more control over this, or at least been the victor. I would have went out on a limb and put him over, brother.
Well, perhaps Don Gatto saw the commercial for Don Gatto tequila, and they are getting weirder. Maybe a little bit too weird.
I have this as Don Gatto eliminated himself. Glasgow boys put the fuck on LeBron. Loner LeBron, because he's always by himself. This episode really goes to show that he needs a black best friend, or at least a white homie of some sorts. This dude needs backup. They put the fuck on him per usual.
Do you have any ideas?
I got nothing.
Do you know anyone that's available for work that could be a black best friend?
Let me think. Off the top of my head, I would bring in Leo Rush.
Leo Rush. Okay, I think he's busy. I think he's busy chasing the one ring to rule them all.
Great. Jumbo wins. I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't like him. I don't like big, jolly, fat guy.
Yeah.
I understand that he's very young and he's young looking, almost to the point where I kind of thought he was wearing like makeup or foundation. I just, in my memory, I see him with more pimples. But everything was like big move, smile. Look at me. I'm jolly. I don't like jolly. Don't get me wrong. Under the mask, I didn't love him as a heel 400-pounder, but like I don't know how we're gonna put heat on a 400-pound baby face in 6 months after he runs through the squash matches. Like
yeah, right. At some point, there's got to be heels that can do it. Sure, you've got the
brother also gassed. I understand why this was a battle royal and probably not a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-1. Ryback style squash match. So we'll see. I hope he's working on his cardio as we speak. That's pot kettle. But
what about Odyssey Jones? Is that
Odyssey Jones? You got to reinforce the ring every night, brother. That means more ring crew guys. So you're up in the budget.
Well, maybe LeBron needs Jumbo to be his best friend.
What kind of connection are you making there? Complexion connection, Jeff? What's up?
You're the one who said black best friend.
Wuhan Nation.
The only person that's hanging out with white dudes is me over here, brother. What's up?
Well, I mean,
but I wouldn't have you watch my back for the record.
No, that probably. I mean, maybe as a roadblock.
You live in Maryland. You keep that thing on you in the glove.
Maybe it's a speed bump. I mean,
holy moly! Yeah, this was what it was. It was a battle royal. 15 minutes, 8 minutes of entrances. So,
well, listen.
What did you think of Jumbo? Be honest, because you got to bring me down the earth sometimes.
I don't like Jumbo one bit. I'm not. I mean, he's very big, but he's not. I saw him live. I saw him in July, and
I prefer this version more than the Contra version. I'm curious to see where it goes. Normally, we have like the Beastmans of the world, and like your fat, angry Bastion Booger, sloppy 400-pound heels. So I'm curious how to see the presentation of a 400-pound smiley baby face, who I could easily see getting like suckered into this some stupid situation and just being like outsmarted by anyone who wants to take advantage of him as a young human.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. He's not an athletic looking person. He is not a particularly good wrestler. He's green as grass. Yes, he's big. So he's got that going for him.
He's the perfect monster for MLW on a babyface side. I think I don't know who he's going to work with, but let's see. A good developmental deal for Jumbo.
Yeah, no, it's good for him. It's good for him for sure.
Getting out of this battle royal. Did we go right to a commercial, or do we have Aries here? I don't want to skip too far. No, it was announced that Aries versus Alverno next week for the open weight title. I want to call it the middleweight title, but the open weight title.
Yeah, well, what we had was like 6 or 7 contra hacks within like a 2-minute session, and since I did a shot for each one, I was mighty drunk.
Wasted. So you got drunk and then you woke up. Contra promo. I'm not sure what they were cutting out there. It might have actually been the Salverno match, but we got a full background on Youssef and some clips from a few years back, and now he's back looking for revenge.
He sure is, and he sure is getting it.
My favorite part of this segment, this commercial, was the photo of Youssef was the eyes were blacked out, and then they unblacked the eyes out. It's just him wearing sunglasses. We know who it was. I'm all with it. Shit makes me laugh. I stepped off my notes here for a sec. Yeah, Joe Coffey versus LeBron. Lonely LeBron.
Yeah.
The loner.
All by himself. And this cost him because Wolfie and Mark came out. They were, they didn't come into the ring. They came up to the ropes and they're like daring him to punch him in the face. Punch us. Come on, get us. You know you want to. And that distraction let Mark Coffey get the win. But this was a very good, hard-hitting, physical match.
Went faster than I've ever heard you go on a match ever. We just spent 11 minutes on this battle royal that had nothing. And you just skipped over the best match on Fusion television.
It was a great match.
This match was awesome. This was a hoss battle. Two big, meaty, fucking grown-ass men slapping meat, if you know what I'm saying. My style of wrestling, the first half of this match, I'm not sure how long this match went. Regardless, I don't care. It could have been 20 minutes long. It was the easiest match to watch. I watched it twice. They were working towards a power bomb. Both guys simply working towards a power bomb. Very strong style, back and forth, hard hitting, fight, so I can try to pick you up and slam the fuck out of you. You can't get me. I'll hit you as hard as I can to pick you up to try to do the same thing. Rinse and repeat. This will work in any town with any two big ass dudes. I hate the way it ended, but I love the way it ended. I think this match told a great story. These dudes are clearly equals. I kind of was shitting on LeBron for the past few weeks. This is the one that sold LeBron on me. And I'm not sure if this was...
You turned about 4 weeks ago face on him.
I'm okay with him, but this lets me know homeboy can battle. I wish I would have got a big lariat somewhere or some huge Fossey that showed that he was damn near on it. But then these two other fucks come out, and as Tom Lawler always does on commentary, he clears it up for everyone, lets us know they did not touch him. All they did was come out and give a little oogly moogly, just enough for Joe Coffey to roll him up for the 1, 2, 3. Clean but dirty. It leaves us more to go. God, I wish these two would fight for a title. Ooh.
I have a feeling they will be.
I'm muted. There we go. We're back.
Wow.
Slight technical difficulty. I think I was going to get nebulized there for a second, but no, we're coming back. We're back. Technical difficulties.
Wow, lots of stuff going on in the back.
I like LeBron. I'm sold on LeBron. I'm sold on this match. Glasgow boys, pricks, but this one worked.
It sure did. No discus lariat, no big lariat, just but a lot of big moves. And
Didn't need it. Work for a powerbomb, try to fight, show who the better man is. The brothers just outsmarted him. Where do you think LeBron goes from here? He's got to avenge his loss, right?
Revenge, yeah. I mean, Teddy, he's not going to let Teddy go long, get beaten down just like that and leave it at one match now.
He should have a black friend. Maybe I'll text him.
He should have a black friend. That's what I'm thinking.
Need a little more time off, bro.
Apollo!
Oh, is he? Did he get released last time around?
Isn't he with TNA now? But who knows? I mean,
he's a free agent. Free agent. Okay, well, Wuhan Nation.
Ooh.
Oh well, okay. Wuhan Nation. That would be a choice. But
if we get a tall and jacked little tag team on the Indies, I put him on my shoulders or vice versa.
That's right.
Love this match. We get a rare Místico out for a promo.
Yeah, Místico. Well, I do want to mention that in the crowd, Bryan Danielson Knievel was in the crowd.
Is that how you saw that?
Yes, that's how I saw that. That's my favorite part of the match, was seeing Bryan Danielson Knievel in the crowd.
Love that. Where are we at here? Yeah, Místico out to talk shit.
Your friend Tom Lola also explained why the Coffeys are so mad at LeBron. It's because they made fun of his accent.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, and
I don't know if that's like go beat up my uncle, do it, but okay. I've seen less wrestling feuds over worse.
Yeah, and he said Teddy Long just got in the way. I mean, it's perfectly understandable according to your friend, Filthy Tom Lawler. But then again, he is filthy.
He is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, So, yeah. Do we need to talk about this Don Gatto commercial?
I didn't watch it. I skipped over it because you told me that this morning, and I had already I skipped right to where we were going here, unfortunately.
Okay. There was a conversation, and there were a lot of like blackouts during the conversation, redacted on purpose. But basically, Danny McBride was trying to egg his friend Steve into, that like he loves Don Gatto so much that he would suck his blank.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy's like, I'm not saying that I would just suck Don Gatto's blank, but like if he whipped out his blank here, I might just have to suck his blank. And Danny McBride goes, yeah. And then he goes,
like it.
Yeah, and I didn't like it. And Danny McBride goes, you shouldn't say that to him. And so,
listen, these Don Gatto commercials are produced by Don Gatto, the company themselves. So it's not like MLW is just out there throwing shade to the liquor community. So whatever comes through, they produced it and filmed it themselves. I'm all for it.
This is definitely Danny McBride humor. I mean, anyone who's seen anything
at once, yeah. Obviously, you want to use the Eastbound and Down crowd towards your, tequila, but we'll see how it goes.
Right. All right. Well, now we see, like mine says, slightly obsessed with Bocchini. Rick Bocchini, insider, has Místico for his promo, and as soon as you say Austin Aries' name, like Joe Hendry, he appears.
Ugh. And I throw up every single time.
Oh, that's so sad. Well, luckily for you, the end all and be all was that Místico was like, if you're man enough and Averno's man enough, make it a triple threat, and you can get your hands on me, and I can get my hands on you, Austin Aries. And Austin Aries is like, what? That's terrible. Whoa, Averno, no. Averno, who looks a little bit like Dante Caballero. Is it the same guy, maybe? I don't know.
Averno, who I literally thought was Matthew Justice with a robe on in this photo, but neither here or there.
Or Anthony Henry.
My only notes on this were Místico out to talk, which I found odd, but it led to subtitles when Místico spoke Spanish, which I'm all for. Apparently, there'll be a triple threat next week. If Místico wins this, he never lost the last title. What are we doing? So let's not put the title on Místico unless he's going to fucking lose it. Because he didn't lose the middleweight title. It was kind of stolen and given up and forfeited, kind of, sort of, right? He didn't lose it 1, 2, 3.
Right. And then Templario won it, and then Templario lost it to Kushida, and then Kushida, who just joined Contra, lost it again to Templario.
Which is fine. They can stay there. But are we going to do the same thing with this middleweight title, this openweight title, excuse me, the MLW openweight title? Is it going to go to going to use it as one of his many belts in a prop? Is this where the Southern title, which is going to be defended next week, comes into play, being more the secondary title when this one goes away? Because it seems like it's going to go away. But with that being said, not to break any news, there will be back-to-back shows in September for MLW in Chicago, which is probably a replacement for the October 4th show that's been canceled in Philadelphia, if my math would be corrected, at the Cicero Stadium in Cicero, right outside of Chicago. And one thing
is the Philly replacement. I think Atlanta was announced.
Yeah, they announced this September 8th. That's what it is. September 8th.
November 8th.
November 8th, excuse me.
Look at that. Look at that banner.
This is a great poster for the record. Excited to see Místico on there. If he does end up with the middleweight title, openweight title, I'm never
made it to the poster. Lissy Almeida, the ring announcer, has made it to the poster.
She's a babe. She belongs there. But yeah, Místico on the show, I think, only reiterates he'll eventually have this title. So,
is that guy Cesar Romero in there? So this is the guy that's not my Cesar Romero. It must be a CMLL ring announcer.
Like an official. He was on TV.
Is that Tiger Mask? That's next to him.
We can play this game all day.
Looked a little bit like Lindsay Dorado, but can't be Lindsay Dorado. Easy. All right. Well, anyway, by the time that makes it to TV, will probably be next February. So we'll see. Unless they
at least we'll still have a job, and we'll still be the #1 MLW podcast in all of the internet. We're open for sponsorships and willing to be bought out by the MLW network itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a preview for Trevor Lee and Kushida next week for the middleweight title. See, now I got it all fucked up for the middleweight title. I'm all backed up here. Trevor Lee versus Kushida for the Southern title. Excuse me, I got it all wrong twice. I got a lot of concussions. Leave me alone.
Well, I just want to say that I thought it was pretty funny that Austin Aries was using Google Translate when he was trying to understand Místico because he didn't get the subtitles. And I know Austin Aries speaks Spanish because I know he spent the last 10 years in Mexico. So that was funny. We got a Zamaya video package, and they reminded us that she was undefeated. There was no women's wrestling on this match. The only women that were shown was Zamaya.
We got back to back. We had women's wrestling last week and 2 weeks ago. So we had two women's matches in 1 week.
Contra Merck's brief vignette, but yeah, Trevor Lee finally out of the hospital, out of the woods, safe, cleared to defend his Southern title against Kushida, backed by Contra, I presume.
Always. I feel like maybe Trevor Lee might be the best friend of Lonely LaBron. They're fighting the same battle against the Glasgow boys. It seems like their two storylines are the same storyline. I'm just connecting dots. At least a tag match. And if they do a trios match, I'm not sure who it would be, but I hope we get all of this.
Interesting.
Easy television.
It is easy. I just think LeBron can do better.
As a tag team partner?
Yes.
In this moment?
Yes.
Sure.
He could have Mr. Thomas as his tag team partner, best friend.
An old, washed up has been, never was, brother.
Wow, you talking about yourself that way?
Yeah. What do you want me to be fucking modest, or you want me to be honest?
How old is Trevor Lee?
50 by the looks of him.
So there you go. You're an upgrade. I mean, come on.
No, he's a young boy. He's probably 35, I think. He's a little one, so he stays on. That haircut. He's got the little boy haircut.
That haircut. But he's a Ravens fan, so I have to like him for that.
Good Brothers promo.
Right.
Brought the Nepo baby in for a quick plug.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This was so good. This was such your standard Good Brothers promo. If anyone ever doubts why they're booked every weekend, 3, 4, 5 times a weekend, it's because they can cut a promo like this, get you hyped, get you fired up, sell that match, put the kid over, tell you what they're going to do, and they called it Magic Killer 1, 2, 3, title number 9 for these guys. They predicted it. They predicted it on the spot, but they hit the curtain right afterwards, which I thought was great. So seamless promo going right into this, and we have a tag title match, a Tennessee Tornado match. The Skyscrapers versus the Good Brothers. I thought this was an excellent match. 4 former WWE guys doing a non-WWE WWE style match. Unfortunately, I think this is a good match, whether it was on MLW Fusion main event, whether it was on a house show, whether it was on an indie show, whether it was on Raw. This is a great 4-man weapons match. It was safe. It told a good story. 4 big dudes. Talk about reinforce the ring. Every single person in this match, 6'6". Every single dude in this match can fight and beat dog shit out of you without a question. So,
all right, you've just inflated Karl Anderson quite a bit, but 3 real big dudes and Karl Anderson.
Karl Anderson is 6'3", 250 pounds. He's in good shape. Brother, he's got a hot Asian wife. You can't tell me nothing.
That might be
Machine
the case.
Gun Karl Anderson?
But he's not 6'3" or 250.
You're disrespecting one of my boys right now.
I'm just going with the realities of size. I mean,
realities of size. All right, I'm being a little pro wrestling over here, but 6'1", the internet says, so a solid 6 foot. But when he's standing next to a man that's legit 7, what's the difference between 6'1" and 6'4"?
Where was Josh Bishop? I mean,
he was at a WWE tryout, brother.
They just recruited the guy, and where is he in their time of need?
Well, a friend in need is usually a pest. And who said they needed it? Well, I guess that's true. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's a fair game.
I guess so.
We already had interference on this match, and enough is enough with the 3-man bullshit. And I think this kind of put an end to it. Thankfully.
I hope so. Listen, this was not a fresh matchup, but this was.
We started this journey. I don't know how many weeks ago. Production, if at any point you can tell me how many weeks it's been since we've been doing the show, week 1 and 2, we were looking for this storyline to be over. I know we're on week 8 or 9 at this point. This has been the longest tag team storyline. Contra Mercs Good Brothers, Skyscrapers, a more Contra dog shit, all looped around. How many moons away are we from the Good Brothers teaming with Cruel? And seems like years ago. And we finally got the payoff this week on Fusion. Thank God.
New champions.
There was no interference either, Jeff.
No, there was no interference, and this was a very good match. Lots of close calls. The Skyscrapers, very obsessed with doing their double choke slam and
weapons, canes, chairs. They pulled out all the stops on this one.
Yeah, I mean, no Josh Bishop, no CJ Gallows. It was just the four guys beating each other up, going through tables, using everything.
Cool story. The finish. Big Dog went through the outside, and then it just kind of left everybody out to play. Yeah. Bishop, Dijak threw the table off the top, led to a little frying pan from Doc Gallows over the head, DDT by Karl Anderson, right back up into the Magic Killer. 1, 2, 3, nobody kicks out. Tennessee goes crazy. New champs hanging tall. You bring the kid out to celebrate, to put the Nepo baby over. We go out on a happy note here. No Contra beatdown, no interference. This was a happy ending and a good finish to a story. These motherfuckers earned these belts. They've been working for these belts. They had to put up a lot of bullshit and dog shit to get these belts.
I'm happy to see it. Too much attention.
Happy to see it off the Skyscrapers.
Do you think he's been paying too much attention to defending his U.S. title?
Listen, man, when you're torn between two jobs, sometimes one takes priority, even by accident. So, got to do what you got to do.
You think this is the last we've seen of Bishop Dyer?
No. You got to get the rematch clause, brother. Come on,
oh, good. Can't wait that. So
there's still more TV to tell. There's still more stories to tell for sure.
All right, listen. I don't know if you have any insider information on this one, but what's going on, Hammerstone? No one's mentioned his name. I saw him in the NWA match. Is he still with MLW? Maybe sometimes, kind of. Might see him again.
I don't want to pull the curtain back too much. From what I understand, when Hammer came back, which was when I was still there, the conversations that I feel like I had with him, I don't think I'm exposing anything, but I think it was a per deal handshake. We're going to bring it back a couple times, see what happens when the dates line up. I'm not sure what he's doing personally or professionally at this time. But I think just much like I know, you can't be there forever. And Hammerstone was there forever, much like myself. We were there for the better part of 5 years, him longer than that, without any injuries, any time off, kind of just grinding. He went from being in the dynasty to the open weight champion to the world champion immediately, and had no days off and kind of till he was out of there for a couple months. So maybe he's just resting and just being jacked and shredded simultaneously. But yeah, I think that we last saw him in like an Ultimo Guerrero match, or maybe against Cruel in a singles competition. And I hope he comes back there. I think there's always a spot for a former world champion in MLW, and we'll just see how long it takes for it to come full circle again. Time heals all wounds. I'm not saying there's any beef there, but sometimes everybody needs a day off, and everybody needs to kind of get a fresh coat of paint, as my friend Bruce would say.
Yes, and he does do competitive bodybuilding at times, and so you're cutting weight and shredding, and probably can't do both things at the same time.
He can, but let the world know. I put Hammerstone over before, and I'll say it again, and we can clip this. If Hammerstone decides to focus on either pro wrestling or bodybuilding, it's over for everybody. It's over for everyone in bodybuilding. If he chooses to not take bumps the rest of the days of the week and just get on stage and perform at his maximum capacity, and if he chooses to just be jacked and shredded in the wrestling ring, it's whatever he wants. But he's going to do both until he physically can't, which is fine, and he should, because we only have a short shelf life, and there's no one that has a harder drive than him. He's probably so jacked right now he can't even walk. He's probably so sore from leg day that he's just in a jacuzzi somewhere in a hyperbaric chamber getting air-cooled massages on his knees.
Okay. Well, that's nice. Good for him. Maybe he's with Hate, who we didn't see anything from, or there was no follow-up on Hate.
Hate, she's coming, man. She's got to, hey, slow down. It's a long, long fly from Tokyo,
I know, like that, but yeah, I like want there to be like some follow up. I was expecting to see Korean Joy, and you know, I would just like the folks at MLW to watch AAA, and because they tape, you know, 4 hours at a time or whatever they do, and their continuity is largely seamless. And just, you know, just take some notes and, you know, get a storyboard and, you know, try to work with it a little bit. I mean, listen, I think that we're both enjoying LeBron Kozone, but I don't think he should have had to do double duty on the same TV show.
I mean, listen, man, it doesn't take, as a professional, a former professional, this is the only thing I can bring to this podcast is my experience previously as a professional wrestler. You're going to work twice in one night. Was this legitimately the first and second match of the show? I doubt it. But theoretically, if you're an athlete, you should be able to do it. Jumbo probably didn't work 4 matches that night, and they surely weren't back to back. But you know, I'll let it slide. Someone's got to do double duty. In the old days of the Royal Rumble, everyone did double duty. I'm okay with this, and it's think about who was in that match. Who was really going to work twice?
I understand all that. I'm just saying, for TV purposes, you shouldn't have to see the same person.
Do you feel that LeBron should have just been left out of that battle royal altogether, and we didn't tell that story? Because I feel like the Glasgow Bros really told that story that led to the end of their match. So there was some storytelling in that you asked for, Jeffrey. But
this is true.
Do you feel like it would have the finish to that match could have gone over as good without the battle royal?
Yes, I do. I think that them beating up Teddy Long is enough for that.
I feel like you didn't even need that. I kind of feel like that was a throwaway angle that you could have just kind of told that story a different way. But
yeah, well, one or the other. But they did both. Anyway, I just think that and listen, I get it. What we are saying and not saying is that a lot of these shows were taped a long time ago, and you know, and they're going through their stuff and they're putting together things the best that they can, and they're still getting back in the habit of trying to do a television show. And it's different. It's harder. You have to plan your house shows more, you know, with two things. You got to keep the crowd engaged and excited, but you also have to plan your things so that you can have your TV make sense or know which segment's going to be which segment when your TV comes up. I mean, the MLW live crowds are really good about not spoiling things. I've never I like try not to spoil anything. Like sometimes you've got to pull it out of me and say, well, I was there in July and I saw him, but I won't say who has a title and who doesn't and whatever. I'll just say that I wasn't impressed with Jumbo. Big deal. I wasn't impressed with Jumbo. So what?
No, I do like that the crowd is still intimate enough that it and also spread out, because you probably get your MLW loyals who are at every MLW show. And, you know, when you're in Chattanooga, you probably get some new first-time fans who their first thing when they go home isn't to get on X and tweet the results. Right. You can find them. You can find the results if you need them, but you can avoid them if you want to, which I feel like I've done. I've asked you a few things, and I feel like you've kind of nonchalantly not told me anything, but I don't reach out to ask for finishes, and I kind of take everything as a surprise, which works better in this aspect.
The biggest spoiler was Wikipedia. Don't look at Wikipedia. I didn't get any spoilers on you know, the regular X. Now, listen, maybe it's because enough people have blocked me or I've blocked them or whatever, or I mean, frankly, most of the discourse is about WWE versus AEW. So, you know, everything else can get lost in the shuffle there. And then, you know, I follow a lot of indie wrestlers, so I see a lot about, you know, Girl Fight and Beyond and Second City and, you know, and what Progress is doing in this, that, and the other thing, GCW. But yeah, in any event, yeah, this was a good show. The show was fun. I'm looking forward to see what's happening. I like I'm with you. I don't think the MLW really benefits from Tessa or Tommy N. If Tessa came in for one taping just because CML and she comes in, whatever, big deal. If she beats somebody up but then gets beat up, you know, she jumps Zamaya, but then Zamaya beats her, you know, 3 hours later, but it's 3 weeks later on TV. Fine, I don't care, you know. But you know, as a long-term thing, I don't see any need to have a Tessa Blanchard there. Yeah. Tully Blanchard doesn't add anything. having Arn Anderson and the Andersons didn't bring a lot of attention. And as you said, that it's one thing for second chances, but you don't want to become everybody's place for second chances. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, if they want to give someone second chances, they have some relationship with. I mean, you'd think it'd be Masha Slamovich.
We'll see. You never know.
Yeah, you never do know. In any event,
show highly recommended. Excited for next week. Curious to see how this goes from here.
Good card next week. I don't know anything about Overno. You know anything about Overno?
We'll find out in real time. I'll do my research, check out a highlight video or two, but it's as much as I can commit.
Yeah, it's more.
He's probably really good at wrestling, just based off looks.
That's what I'm going to commit to him. I'm just going to assume he's the Ulka Susaki of CMLL, who's a guy involved that I have no idea why they brought him in to just keep losing matches, look small and unimpressive.
Well, an easy show, highly recommended. We'll be back next week, but before then, Jeff, plug your stuff. I'm pretty simple to find. It's Mr. Thomas. I'm always at Mocha Traps, whether it's on the Instagram, whether it's on the Twitter, or wherever you may find me. Jeff, plug your stuff, plug your shows. I know you're a busy man and you have 5 shows a week.
Sometimes. Is Barry Bonds going to be our special guest? I heard you two are friends.
Barry Bonds will not be joining on any publication that is not on Netflix. I can confirm.
Okay, interesting. That's too bad. All right, where can you find me? You can find me on X at @dose_evil. You can often find me here. So let's go start with Mondays. So on the Moon's Day, you can find me doing the MLW files right now. If you're watching me right now, you have. Tomorrow night, I'm doing an Out of Character podcast with the Tampa Bay Women's World Wrestling Champion, your hometown promotion.
I wrestled on that promotion one time. Did one battle royal.
Maybe I could get you a job. Maybe you could be your heater. Barbara Portuando is our guest, the champ. And for those of you who don't know, she and I used to be cast members together on Unpopular Review. So we go way back. That's also where I know Ref David from, Dave Sanderson as well. So so she's going to be on, doing great things, big things. Wednesday is a Garden of Thought, where I've got a gentleman who I got to make sure I get this all right. Who I'm talking to? Okay, this is Deborah Wild, and she wrote a book about a golem. So I'm really going to want to focus on the golem stuff. She's probably going to focus on the entire book, and hopefully out of that we'll have a show. So that's pretty cool. But I like those. And then Thursday we talked about with Mr. Thomas, with my friend C the Superior, her friend Erin. We're going to talk about The Prestige. We've got a whole bunch of things. I've got to see that movie a second time between now and then. Wednesday night, I'm doing double.
I highly recommend you watch it a second time because I feel like your perspective changes after you watch it the first time.
I'm definitely gonna watch it a second time to look to see if there were more clues and things and stuff like that. But
there's no clues. They tell you. They tell you the whole time. They tell you everything.
We can only, just like a magic trick, you can only look at so much at one time. So you have to see other things other times. I mean, listen, we'll talk about, but believe me, there were plenty of times I was wondering, if you're so poor, how do you have this manservant? And I looked at him to see if, and things like that. Anyway, we'll get to that Thursday. Wednesday night, I'm doing double duty. I'm going to be on JJ Alexander's network. And actually, theoretically, 3 or 4 independent promoters are going to be on that. And finally, I'm going to talk to some people who run independent promotions about the economics of indie promotion. Hopefully, that'll become a little series unto itself.
What night is that? And can you please ask these guys exactly the hassles of booking venues and how that works, and the cash that changes hands and deposits and things that come with that nature, and why wrestling gets such a bad rap when it comes to renting buildings? Or is that just purely fictition based off promoters who don't want to pay money?
Those are a lot of good questions. You should probably
make sure you text me before you go in, and I'll chime in if I'm available.
Yes, I mean, some of those questions are definitely going to be part of it, but there's going to be 3 or 4 of them, so it's going to be a bit of a conversation. But again, hopefully it's going to become a continuing series where more indie promoters come on, at least the legit ones, and feel like it's something that's.
I want to hear from the scumbags too. Those guys out there, $5 and a hot dog, hit me up.
Well, eventually, if the show gets big enough, hopefully they'll be there because they have to. And then this Sunday, the Garden of Thought, Paul Scorpion. We're talking about tepes and goddesses. And the tepes, by that I mean Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe, all those places that are 12,000 years old that they found in Turkey. And nobody's quite exactly sure what they are, but everyone's got a theory, and it's all Atlantis, aliens, and superculture. So a big week for me, and somewhere in there, me and Lou have to record an LFG episode. We're now back to being 4 episodes behind. So
love that. All right, everybody. Over and out. We'll see you next week.
Later.